I didn't realize when it happened, but we became physical before marriage. Maybe that is the reason we drifted apart. We were continuously physical for 3 months. And perhaps that's why we ended up separating from each other. We didn't fall in love the way movies show it. There was no dramatic moment where everything suddenly changed. Love entered quietly, softly, almost unnoticed. It slipped into our lives through late night conversations, through comfort, through laughter that felt effortless. It happened when your name became the one I smiled at on my phone, and your voice became the one that made bad days easier to survive. I didn't plan to love you. I just did. You felt like home before I even understood what that meant. With you, I felt seen, heard, chosen. You listened when I spoke, and even when I stayed silent, you somehow understood. I trusted you with my heart without fear, without hesitation. I believed that if there was one person who wouldn't leave, it was you. In the beginning, love felt light. We talked for hours and still felt like time wasn't enough. We shared secrets, dreams, fears we never told anyone else. You knew my weaknesses, and instead of using them against me, you held them gently. You made me believe that loving deeply wasn't a mistake. We imagined a future together as if it was already promised. We talked about where we'd be years from now, what kind of life we'd build, how we'd grow old side by side. Those conversations felt real. They felt safe. I built my hopes around them. I built myself around them. But love doesn't always end with a crash. Sometimes it fades like a song slowly turning quieter. At first, I noticed the smallest things, replies that took longer, conversations that felt forced, smiles that didn't reach your eyes anymore. I told myself I was overthinking. I told myself love changes shape over time. I didn't want to believe something so beautiful could slip away without warning. You were still there. But something about you was missing. Your warmth, your effort, your presence. I felt the distance growing, even when you were right beside me. And that kind of distance hurts the most because you can't point to it and say, this is where everything broke. It just slowly breaks you instead. I tried to fix things without even knowing what was wrong. I became more patient, more understanding. I ignored my own pain so you wouldn't feel pressured. I convinced myself that if I loved you enough, you would come back to me the way you used to be. But love should never feel like proving your worth. There were nights I cried quietly, holding my phone, staring at old messages. Messages where you once couldn't wait to talk to me. I wondered what changed. I wondered when I stopped being enough. I wondered how someone could slowly leave without ever saying goodbye. We stopped talking about our future. We stopped fixing our thoughts. We stopped fixing problems. Arguments didn't end in resolution anymore. They ended in silence. And silence became louder than any fight. I started feeling like a stranger in your life, like someone you tolerated instead of loved. I began walking on eggshells, afraid that expressing my feelings would push you even further away. And then came the moment that broke me. I was sitting next to you, close enough to feel your presence, yet so far away emotionally that it felt unbearable. I looked at you and realized I missed you. Not the person in front of me, but the person you used to be. The person who loved me without hesitation. That's when I knew. We were already ending. We just hadn't said the words yet. When we finally talked, I was still hoping. Hoping you'd fight. Hoping you'd say you were scared, confused, anything that meant you still cared. But your voice was calm, distant. You said you didn't feel the same anymore. No anger, no tears, just the truth. I asked when it changed. You said you didn't know. That answer stayed with me longer than you ever did. Because how do you accept losing someone who doesn't even know when they stopped loving you? Walking away felt impossible. Loving you was all I knew. But staying hurt more than leaving. I had to choose myself for the first time, even though it felt like I was losing everything. Letting go felt like ripping my heart out slowly, painfully, with every step I took away from you. After the breakup, The world felt quieter, empty. Healing wasn't beautiful. It was messy and lonely. Some days I felt okay. Other days I couldn't breathe without missing you. I replayed memories, reread messages, blamed myself for things that weren't my fault. I missed the version of you that loved me. I missed who I was when I believed in us. But time has a way of teaching lessons love never could. I learned that love alone isn't enough. Effort matters. Presence matters. Choosing someone every day matters. And sometimes people don't leave because you're not enough. They leave because they no longer know how to stay. We didn't end because of betrayal. We didn't end because of hate. We ended because we grew apart quietly, painfully, until love turned into memory. We loved each other until we didn't. And that kind of ending stays with you. It changes you. But it also teaches you what you deserve. One day I'll love again, but next time I'll choose someone who stays. Someone who doesn't make love feel like loneliness. If you're listening to this and holding on to someone who has already let go emotionally, please understand this. You deserve consistency. You deserve effort. You deserve a love that doesn't fade into silence. Letting go hurts, but staying where you're no longer chosen hurts more.